Good evening. It's a bit of a nicer day today. That being said, we've had snow, rain, hail, wind, sun. So, nice. Maybe not. Maybe just a day. So, take a stroll, unwind, de-stress, and all those things in the middle. Not sure which way we're going to go yet. With the sunlight being, well, it's just holding on, we might be able to spot a few different things. There we go. Kind of looks a bit different with daylight. Some say it looks better, some say it does not. I'm not sure. But we'll potter on anyway. Have a stroll. Why not? The good thing is you can see some of the cool buildings, the architecture we have. These old red brick buildings, for example. Some pretty awesome finishings. The negative style edgings, the castle roof lines. The Conservative Club in its traditional white with blue. It's a nice building, I guess. Wander up here, spot a few more cool looking buildings. It's a real mixed bag of housing, from social and low income to pretty pricey townhouses and everything in between. I'm not sure if that's necessarily a global thing, but in the UK it does seem to be the way. It all gets jobbed together and eventually they find a happy medium. Or not so happy medium, I guess, depending on what side of the road you're on. The haves and the have-nots. Cross over here, past the roadworks. Yep. Looks like someone's had some poor fortune there. That's not good. Oh, no. That's some real poor fortune. The buildings on the left, which I won't film, are government. They're the Youth Justice Service buildings. Kind of deals with, now I would say under 18s, I have a feeling it's more like under 24. I think they're still called youth. So I think it's all that sort of crimes, not too significant, but crime nonetheless. This is a road closure near gaping hole they've now dug for new electric lines, I think. At least I think it's electric, it could be gas. Let's wander up this way a bit. Maybe go past the old cemetery. But that's just a cool looking house. And there's people looking out the window, so we won't film them. A lot of townhouses along here. That's the hospital on the right, the mental health hospital, owned by a company called St Andrews. Lots in the news about them. Won't rake it over, but it's not good. Look it up. Or don't actually, it's quite depressing. Look at something nice and happy like bumblebees or penguins. Penguins having tea with bumblebees, there you go. That's what everyone should be looking up. Hello, whoever just came in. Say hello in the chat, I'll greet you properly. It's another block of flats. Some pretty cool design work on it. Yeah, square windows offset so you get more space. Right. I don't think we're going to go up here tonight. I think we'll go straight on. So, for those just joining us, we are just out having a stroll around some of the town. To borrow from the great live streamer Brian Reilly, this is Northampton, England, the UK, planet Earth. Although some days it don't half feel like a weird place to be. So everything along here, this is the backside of the mental health hospital. This is all formerly industrial units, workshops, such like maintenance yards. It's now all converted into offices for various uses. This is Building Road Cemetery. We shall have a quick little peek in. We'll be respectful that are recent graves and Commonwealth graves here. But it's a nice cemetery. Very well looked after. Even if Mother Nature does want to claim it back a lot. There you go, a little way in. There is one other exit in the back corner where we saw the police the other night. So we'll just avoid that. But this is it. It's very peaceful considering we are yards from a main road. It is more full than the grave markers suggest. The UK, or England, I'm not sure about the whole of the UK, has a thing where they can remove and reset grave markers at a later date. It's just mainly so the ground can then be reused, but the memorials remain. That's a better view of part of the hospital. That's one of the newer builds. There is some historic buildings in there that are periodically open to the public. Periodically. So we'll just have a walk around here, see if we spot anything interesting. I don't imagine there's anyone famous, but you could be forgiven for expecting there to be former residents of the hospital here. I actually think a few were buried, but that number was kept reasonably low. As you can see, it's mostly unpaved, so you sort of have to follow it around. There's a couple of interesting monuments I've been wanting to look at for a while, which, hey Nancy, how you doing? You've just joined me as I peruse one of the local graveyards. Nothing morbid, just as a couple of interesting monuments that I've been wanting to get to for a while now. And while the weather's holding, let's go have a quick look. So there we go. Ooh. Now that's uncommon in the UK. So this was erected by the council for an officer at the age of 31 who died in the line of duty from a gunshot wound. That is uncommon in the UK. At least back then it would have been. Sadly it probably is more common now. This is, I'm going to guess, probably a soldier. Looking at the fact he's got a horse. Oh, maybe not then. Oh yeah, 1916. Quite possibly a soldier, looking at those dates. And then of course, as is very commonplace at the larger graveyards, we have our monument to the fallen. This is probably the Northampton Regiment. We have several to them. As you can see, it casts quite a impressive visual. Yep, the two wars, soldiers and airmen. As you can see, I won't get too close out of respect, but you can see both stones are engraved on both long sides. And then out in the back there we have, not sure how close I can get that walking over there, a church style monument. That would have been someone of some significance. But there we go, guys, that is the graveyard. We shall have a better look when it's drier, I think. The ground is very wet today. That's just some of the interesting sights. We shall push on a bit, and I'm not sure if there's much more up this way, but we can have a look. I'm sure I must know some bizarre forgotten trivia about the town in this area. In regards to that horse, there's an ongoing debate about if, I think we can sneak out through this hedge rather than walk all the way back. If the horse has 1 foot, 2 foot, is kneeling, what that represents in regards to service personnel and dying in the line of duty. It's not true. It's entirely down to what the family could afford and the capabilities of the stone carver. I like the idea that it's to do with lines of service, but nope. Oh, what's the date on this one? This is quite out of the way. 1927 and 1918. Oh no, I think it's 1816 maybe. So there we go. That's quite an old one. So pop out through here. That's the entrance to the hospital. It's a giant fan making place. So this is still more of the hospital. It dominates this whole area. Yet oddly, nowhere close to a major employer. Quite strange. We have some rather lovely townhouses which you can now see in the daylight. It's amazing the difference. Bit of daylight and on we go. There's a e-scooter having a moment to itself. We've had an interesting day. We started off the day with sub-zero temperature. Then we had sunlight, snow, a heck of a windstorm, rain and sleet. And now it's fairly mild, which means I'm completely overdressed for the weather. Still a little breezy. Now, which road shall we cut up today? What do we think? There's nothing exciting up that one. Oh no, tell a lie. There was a police surveillance house at the top for a while. It was very well hidden. Everyone knew about it. That's someone's JCB crane balloon. Cool party. Anything up this side street? No, I don't think there is. No, there's a paint shop halfway up with a cool picture of a fox on it, and that's about it. Actually, come to think of it, that might be the most exciting thing we see all day. Let's go that way. We will lose Village Hall. Bit unusual to think it was. It's a big old Victorian era factory unit office block over here. Has housed some really interesting companies. And once upon a time, a company that specialised in doing tours of Africa. Nothing else. Just doing laps of Africa. It's now called the Mobbs Miller House. Now I have to get this right. In remembrance to Edgar Mobbs, who was a rugby player.